I'm so needy and I don't know how to stop it. For the first time, I'm realizing that I'm acting needy, and I really relate to Hamza's videos where he says that being needy makes you come across as repulsive. I've always had a lot of friends and I've always been liked by many women. I used to be able to attract women without much effort, but now that I'm trying to get back into dating after a season of being alone, when I try talking to girls, they instantly feel repelled by me. Even unattractive girls, overweight girls leave me on scene on Instagram or don't reply at all. So I'm just going to take a wild guess at the advice that I'm probably going to give you in this video, which is you've got to basically stop thinking and caring about girls so much, and that's very hard to do when you're very horny and it's like the area of life you want to improve on. So the advice that usually would be given to a guy like this is like, oh, just focus on yourself, just go gym, whatever. And that advice, you can tell, comes from a creator who doesn't fucking understand the culture of young men, because you're already going to the fucking gym. So if I waste your time and say, oh, just go gym, bro, you're already fucking going, right? So I'm not going to waste your time with that. The advice that you need is to, instead of focusing on girls, you focus on male friends. You focus on good guys, funny guys you want to be friends with, not like the retards from like back in high school days, the junkie Jeffries, the video gamers. And also not like the one sort of autist guy who goes to the gym, but you don't really hang out with him outside of the gym. You need fucking masculine killers. You need guys who are serious on self-improvement, maybe even more serious than you. Guys who are serious in business, and they're either making money online or they're really close to, they're already working on businesses. And they've got great character. They've also really funny. They've got the sort of banter humor that you like. When you spend more time with guys like that, it makes it so easy for you to be less needy for girls, because most guys, they don't have girls or male friends. Let's just be honest, right? You've got to just be honest here. Just nod your head like a little bitch. No offense, but nod your head like a little bitch if I'm right there. You are a type of young man who, yeah, you don't have girls, but also you don't even have good male friends either. Most guys, I really want you to put your head down in shame and be like, yeah, I've basically got like almost no one who's actually quality in my life, like apart from maybe family. Which is fucked, right? That's really fucked. I think there should actually be a focus for young guys. The problem is, when you focus on girls, they don't want you. So then what do you focus on? And I really think the answer is focus on making a good couple of male friends who are serious, super serious on self-improvement. Not just like the one awkward kind of weirdo who kind of goes to the gym, but then you don't hang out with him outside of the gym because he's a bit of like an autist, but he's kind of okay in the gym to, be like gym friends. And not like the Jeffrey junkies, like the crabs I mentioned, who aren't even serious about life. You need guys who are serious on this path, but also who have been leveling up their social skills, who are genuinely funny guys as well. How do you meet guys like that? The advice that everyone else would give you, again, because most self-improvement creators don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Most people, when they're giving advice to men, they don't know what they're talking about. The advice everyone else would give you is like, oh, get some hobbies and go to a martial arts club and speak to people there. The problem is, if you go to the martial arts club and try and be friends with those guys, they're still fucking Jeffries, even though they do one productive thing. You'll ask them, what are you doing after this? They're all going out to take drugs. They're all going to go home and play Xbox and masturbate. So just because a guy is in one disciplined environment doesn't mean that he's like anything like you. So I've had thousands of my boys tell me like, oh yeah, like I've been following this usual advice. I go to the gym and speak to the guys there. I go to the martial arts clubs and speak to the guys there. And I don't actually want to be friends with them. I thought I would have because they seem kind of cool. But outside of this one environment, which we have in common, I don't want to be like them at all. They're so undisciplined in every other area of life. They're like junkies. They're like they binge drink and they take a fuck ton of drugs and stuff. And like maybe you're kind of okay with that. Every now and then you want to go out and have some drinks at the club or something. I get that. When I was 19, I did that as well. I took drugs as well, right? I took like MDMA and everything, but it was like a couple times a year, and it wasn't with like absolute fucking junkies who go every week or something. So the question then comes is, how do you find male friends who you can focus on instead of being focused on girls, which makes you needy and repels the girls in the first place? You want girls, I understand. I'm trying to rewire your brain so you start to focus on developing friendships with guys who are serious about life, serious about self-improvement. They're funny and everything, which makes it way easier to get girls. Chances are you're not going to meet someone like that in your day-to-day life, because they're just those guys are actually locked in. So you need to use the internet to meet them, because creators like me, like I have basically attracted that that type of like killer young man who's serious on self improvement, who's masculine, but also who's still kind-hearted, grateful, present. You know, you don't just want like the sort of weird guy who's like super serious on the grind and then he's like a bit of a fucking asshole to you. You want the guy who's serious on the grind but also still really like warm and kind-hearted and charismatic, just like I am. And that's the kind of content I've made, where I get you serious on growth, gym, money, success, but I'm also teaching you some of those like kind-hearted kind of traits that makes you like a nice warm person to be around. And so the best way is, look, you're already a part of our online community, and you can literally make friends of guys who are in this platform that we have here, using like, you know, the features we have. You've wrote this post, there'll be people who have replied to you and you can message them and everything. And then also you can just use the map feature that we have here to see where the members are and then basically find guys to message. So if I live in Bali right now and I can zoom in and I can see who else is in Bali not so far from me, and I can see, okay, well, I could message them and say, hey, come do a workout with me tomorrow. Come through. Let's go do this here. Let's go do this there. This is how you find guys who are serious on self-improvements, who are basically have like, you know, the sort of Hamza mindset, but who are actually like, you can literally message these guys once you join our platform, which you're already inside of. Anyone who's watching this on YouTube, you're maybe not inside of our social media platform just yet, but it's fucking really affordable, so I'd recommend joining. I'm telling you right now, we could talk about the rest of the things like, okay, let's see your physique, let's see your you know, your face or whatever, and those things do matter. But what I found is the guy who's obsessed with like the gym or money or something, he still struggles with girls even though he's made progress. But the fat or out of shape, ungroomed, broke guy who's just social with his friends fucks way more than the guys who are just obsessed with gym or anything. Because the guy who's social with his friends, he's out of the house like literally 5 days a week. He's going to restaurants, he's going to the pub, he's going to a party, he's going to the park, he's going to all these random places because he's got friends to go with. And there he speaks to quite literally 10, 20, 30 girls a week. You might cold approach what, like 1 per week, 2 per week. He is less attractive than you. He's less serious about life than you. But his sheer volume of just how many girls he speaks to is so much higher that guy fucks a new girl. Even like, you imagine some guy who's like not even that kind of attractive. He's kind of a bit ungroomed. He's a little bit chubby, but you know, he wears like what's kind of fashionable in like your country. But he's just like he's social. Imagine he's not even good, but he's like joined like the rugby club or some shit, and he's just a social kind of funny guy. By the nature of him having these male friends and him going outside a lot, he speaks to so many more girls than you that he fucks like a new girl once every month or once every 2 months. Now that, like, to a lot of guys, that's not very high. To me, that's not very high at all. Like one girl every fucking month or 2 months or something. But if you're watching this, if you're a young guy, that might even seem, wait, what? Like that might be fucking crazy to you. So this is the secret that guys like us have always missed out on. We focus on these traits like becoming more attractive when actually it's just the sheer quantity of women that you're speaking to. And the sort of online thing of like, you know, oh, just message random girls on Instagram, dating apps, that doesn't work anywhere near as much as you actually just being a social guy, having male friends to go outside and do things with, and then just speaking to girls naturally when you're having fun with your friends. That's the key that I would be recommending for you. You need male friends. Like you said, look, you're tall, you're attractive, you're muscular. Let's have a look at your picture here. I think you posted some stuff here. Yeah, look, you're tall, you've got a great physique and stuff. You know what the constraint would be for you? Because look at your fucking physique. You look awesome, right? You look like sexy and everything. The constraint for you is simply that you just aren't speaking to enough girls. And there's 2 ways you could start speaking to more girls. You could do the lame way, which makes you feel weird, which is that, okay, you go get dressed, go get ready, and you go outside by yourself to like the mall, and you just kind of like trying to pretend you're there for a good reason, but really you're there to just speak to girls, and you're kind of overthinking it's not really a fun thing. Or you can just make some fucking male friends that you actually really want to fucking go to the mall with, genuinely go because you wanted to get a new pair of shoes or something, and then you start flirting with the girl who works there. You flirt with the girl outside, you flirt with the, you know, the girl, like the mother or something, and you end up leaving with like 2 phone numbers that day. That's the better way, because that's fun as well, because you went with your friends and you're all laughing about everything and you're having fun and you're helping each other buy shit and whatever. But also then it's just so easy for you to go and do a bunch of these plans where it's actually fun and there's women everywhere and you can actually talk to them. That's the hidden constraint of guys who they're pretty attractive. They're actually kind of confident as well, especially, for being a young guy. Physique's looking decent. You don't stink or anything like that. Even if you're broke, it's fine as a young guy. The constraint is you're often just not speaking to as many girls in person as you need to. That's the biggest thing is if you go in a week, you go out like 3-4 days in a row, 4-5 days, where you go to the mall one day with your friends, you go to a restaurant the day afterwards, you go to the cafe the day afterwards. You've always got these plans. Your parents are almost shocked by how much like social stuff you're doing, and you have to tell them, no, it's really fun for me. Don't worry, I'm not getting into trouble. It makes it so easy for you to quite literally speak to like minimum 10 girls per week. I'm telling you right now, if you speak to 10 girls per week, you will fuck. Like, you will start to either date or fuck like one girl per month, minimum, like at worst. You just need to go outside more, but going outside more is fucking boring if it's just by yourself, even though it sounds good. People try and like say it's so gay. People try and like hype up like, oh yeah, go outside by yourself. Go watch a movie by yourself. That's like a modern day dystopian reality where people are saying like, yeah, I'm really happy when I'm by myself. Like, no, stop having a fucking mental illness. Go make some fucking friends and do it with. But then you don't want to go with fucking retards. You don't want to go with Jeffries. You don't want to go with guys who are just fucking weird and, socially autistic. You need some guys who are actually serious about self-improvement, which is where you may as well just go find your hometown inside of our community. If your hometown, I don't know, is in like Bulgaria or something. Let's see if you're in like Sofia there. And you message, what is this, like the seven guys who are here, and say, okay, we're all going to meet right in the middle. There's like a gym there. There's a restaurant there. We're all going to spend a day together. We'll take some nice pictures. We'll go speak to some girls. We'll get food. We'll do this and this and this. And you've got like 6 guys, and it's hype as fuck. You're like the loud group of guys who are in like the mall or the restaurant. And then when you're in that hype kind of mode, it's so easy for you to not feel like kind of needy for girls, because you're getting that sort of like friendship kind of like social energy checked off. That's a big part of why guys are needy. Often, with girls, often the sort of neediness you have is not like this intense horniness that you have. Like, when you go up to a girl, it's not like you've got a boner in your fucking pants because you're so needy for sex. It's often like you're just needy for fucking intimacy, friendship, laughter, social experiences as a whole. So when you get male friends that kind of checks off the box of like social life and friendship, then you feel like you need girls way less because you've got that big part of life checked off. And then what you need girls for is more like intimacy, love, affection, which you don't often feel so crazy needy for when you've already got male friends that are kind of, like soothing your sort of social battery. This is what I'd recommend. If you're already, like, for example, if you looked disgusting, I would tell you, that I would, right? I would look at your pictures and say, okay, bro, you look like a fat piece of shit. You look ugly. You look like you stink, whatever, but you don't. Look at the fucking picture for everyone who's watching this on YouTube. Like, you look like a fucking Chad. There's no reason why you shouldn't have like too many girls in your life. Honestly, like within a few months from now, you better have so many fucking girls that the next post you write is you complaining, saying like, oh yeah, like I've got 6 girlfriends, I've got 6 girls who I fuck every week, and now I'm missing some of my gym days and whatever. That's the fucking problem you should have. If you've been following my advice, within 6 to 12 months, the problem you should have is that there's too many girls who are taking up your time, and that becomes like the second stage problem of dating. But most guys are still stuck in the first stage, which is that they don't have enough girls, and usually it's just because you don't go outside enough. When you go outside with your male friends in a social hype kind of mood, with friends you really like, and they're kind of like checking the box of your social life, it's so easy to speak to 10, 20 girls per week. So easy. That's how you cure this like neediness. That's how you get way more girls into your life. That's it. The neediness will automatically go away at that point. When you have like the male friends you're hanging out with, you'll just seem so much more attractive to girls. I'm telling you, this is like the thing that so many guys on self-improvement are slacking with. We might even need to fucking change the term like self-improvement, because it's all focused on you as a solo guy. But I couldn't have done this journey without like my friend Sam, for example. Me and him, we used to spend like 3 hours a day on Discord. There was quite a big distance between us. It was COVID and stuff, so we couldn't meet as much as possible. But that kept me sane enough that I had this funny guy to talk to about life and everything. So then I wasn't needy at all when it came to girls, because I already had like my sort of friend I'd rely on. I had my friend that I'd go out and do things with. I had friends in my hometown that I'd go to restaurants with and everything. I even had female friends as well. Like we were all part of a group. And so that meant that, like, think about it, like I was going on hikes, restaurants, games nights, rock climbing with like 6 people from my gym, 3 guys, 3 girls. So then when I would go up and speak to a girl, like, on one of these days we were out, I came from such an attractive place because my social life was already checked off. I didn't need the girl that I was going up to speak to. I think this is like the hidden advantage of a guy who you found people you really actually respect, you actually get along with. Not just like, the guy that he's a bit of an autist, but he's like, he goes to the gym a lot, so you speak to him and it's nice. But he's not someone you'd actually hang out with. He's not someone that you'd have like in your bedroom, just hanging out, whatever. You need guys who are so similar to you. And that's why I think, just like, this is gonna sound a bit weird, but like, find other Hamza fans, because I'm telling you, when 2 Hamza fans meet, you share so much of the same fucking jokes, inside jokes, and the banter, values, everything. I'm telling you right now, like, there'll be guys who might comment on this saying like, oh yeah, they met another like Hamza fan, or they shared my videos with another guy, and it adds so much to your friendship because you become so similar to each other. You know the same funny jokes, you've got the same kind of banter, values, character, everything. So then you can actually really invest into that friendship. That takes the neediness away. Then when you speak to a girl, she can tell that you don't need her for like this weird friendship thing. You're just there because you're an attractive guy speaking to her, and you also just meet more girls because now you've got a male friend to actually go out and do social things with, where you're next to girls, and it's so easy to just look over to the girl and say, hey, what are you doing right there? What are you writing down right now? Hey, do you know where that thing is? Oh, you're cute, by the way. What's your name? Boom. Easy mode. You just got to find the guys who are on self-improvement, which I think for you, Nico, you're inside of our community already, this Library of Adonis. It's easy mode for you. You've just got to go message everyone who's around you on the map and then invite them to do something. You have to take that step, and it will work. Goodbye.